4:30 in the morning. We're going to stream those live results as well. Also to be on the lookout for today, the federal case for the Memphis gynecologist Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, expected to continue this morning in about 30 minutes. That's when we're told court is supposed to resume. He was convicted on several counts of healthcare fraud and reusing medical devices intended for single use. Several of Kumar's victims were in court yesterday, very emotional. Some were even crying. The judge has ruled in favor of enhanced sentencing for vulnerable victims, obstruction, and reckless risk. In a story we brought you yesterday, a mother accused of covering up a murder will be back in court today. We're talking about this woman here, Bridget Riley. She's in court under a $10,000 bail, but that bail will be reviewed today. It's supposed to be at 9 o'clock, we're told. Her 17-year-old son, Kenneth Riley, is charged with the murder of Memphis father, Robert Grove. You might remember that he was reported missing and later found. The affidavit says jail calls between Bridget and Kenneth discussed getting rid of evidence of Kenneth inside of Grove's truck and destroying a phone believed to contain evidence. A sad story from last night. A child is in the hospital after getting shot in Frazier. This happened about 7 o'clock last night at Denver Park on Tulsa Avenue off North Watkins. At last check, that child is in critical condition. No word yet on suspects or the child's age. Weeks-long coverage now we bring you from Senatobia, where community activists are calling for the police officer who shot and killed one-year-old Cohen Wiley to be fired and charged with murder. Baby Cohen was killed 3 weeks ago as officers responded to an alleged shoplifting call. This was at last night's Board of Aldermen meeting in Senatobia, where activists demanded the removal of Sergeant Hunter Foster, who's currently on paid leave while the state investigates the deadly shooting. But heavily redacted records make it possible to know whether or not he's the one who shot Cohen. Regardless, people at the meeting say justice needs to be served. One of the aldermen addressed the crowd, Demetrius Garrett, saying he won't say much out of fear of a lawsuit. The other 4 members and the mayor remained silent. Activists say they're going to ask the federal government to investigate the Senatobia Police Department. Now to some good news in North Mississippi. This is in Marshall County, where a company that creates data infrastructure, that's Jabil, is opening a massive second facility in the county. The price tag is $119 million and 2,200 new jobs for the area. Now this will be, like I said, their second location, but second very quickly. They opened their first location last year. Great job for Marshall County. Also, you'll soon have a new place to ride your bike in Germantown. The Board of Mayor and Aldermen have approved a contract to replace a closed section of the trail near Beaver Loop. This will be a new 10-foot wide trail with improved shoulders. You might remember, if you take that area, the old boardwalk was taken out in 2024 because of damage, and people have been going through the woods ever since. The city is expected to share more about construction over the coming weeks. And a fond farewell, Millington Police Chief handing his badge over and calling it a career. Chief Chris Stokes will retire November 6th. Some old photos there. He has served nearly 30 years, rising through the ranks from patrolman, detective, and spent the last 4 years as chief. Now, he will work with the city over the next few months to ensure there's a smooth transition to his successor. Congrats on a nice career, Chief Stokes. Sticking with law enforcement, but kind of in a bad note, a Memphis judge says Shelby County is asking Memphis City Courts and Clerk's Office to leave 201 Poplar. Judge Jane Chandler posted on Facebook last night that the lease they have expired and they're on a 3-month extension. Action News 5's Joyce Peterson learned that the county asked the city to vacate by June 30th with hopes that everyone is out by October. Shelby County's chief administrative officer says more room is needed for 2 new judges who are moving in September 1st. Shelby County Commissioner Mick Wright tells us that Mayor Lee Harris didn't let the commission know about the move. A lot of moving parts there that we hope to have more information for you in the coming days. Meanwhile, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders says the federal government is giving the state new flexibility to run its schools. The move lets Arkansas combine 4 federal funding streams, cutting paperwork and giving districts more control over how they spend federal dollars. State leaders say the change builds on the LEARNS Act and claims test scores have risen since those reforms took place. We're going to go to a quick break, folks, but when we return, more Action News 5 Digital Desk. Stay with us. Bless you. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I got some good news for you coming into our newsroom. We've learned of a new grocery store that is in store for the Uptown neighborhood. Now, the City of Memphis and Shelby County Community Redevelopment Agency, they've received a $765,000 Brownsfield cleanup grant is what it's called. For this site at the map you see on your screen, 645 Jackson Avenue, just across the street from St. Jude. CRA Memphis says plans for the future site, dubbed Manassas Market, includes a grocery store, pharmacy, and possibly housing. Work on the future In-N-Out location has been put on pause, we've learned. The fast food restaurant was planning to go at the corner of Poplar and Estate Drive, right next to the Mercedes-Benz of Memphis. But according to county records, the gas pumps and gas pump canopy were torn down without a permit. In-N-Out tells Action News 5 that the company does not own the property yet and that the work was done by a, quote, unrelated third party. The planning department says it will have to follow up for an inspection next week. We've got some new court records that revealed the man killed in last week's Interstate 40 standoff in Jackson was barred from having a gun at the time of the shooting. TBI did identify the man as 37-year-old Jason Michael Trevino. Records from Ohio apparently show Trevino was facing several charges, including domestic violence and strangulation, tied to a 2025 arrest. Investigators say Trevino displayed a weapon during the standoff on I-40, prompting officers to fire. Authorities have not yet said how he obtained the gun or what his connection, if any, he had to the child involved in the incident. You might remember there was a small girl. There she is on your screen. We've blurred her face in the backseat of the car. A lot of unanswered questions in this case, but we've learned that new information today. Switching gears now, Mississippi stores are getting ready for one of the biggest shopping weekends of the year, the sales tax holiday. I will be one of those folks. This Friday through Sunday, you won't pay state sales tax on school supplies plus individual items of clothing, shoes, priced at under $100. Online purchases made during the holiday are also state tax free as long as each eligible item is under that $100 limit. The tax-free weekends for Tennessee and Arkansas, they're a little bit later, the first weekend in August. FedEx Forum getting a $2 million upgrade. According to the architecture firm Populous, filed a permit Monday for a, quote, model suite renovation and MDF relocation, end quote. That refers to moving network and telecommunications within the building. Cordova-based firm Flintco was listed as the contractor for the project. You might remember back in April, Flintco filed a permit to replace seating on the west side of the arena. And could this new Grizzly be playing in the Forum? Grizzlies also making some trade deals. They've brought in veteran point guard D'Angelo Russell as part of a 6-team trade that sends Santi Aldama to the Dallas Mavericks. Along with Russell, the Grizzlies receive a second-round pick and a second-round pick swap with the Washington Wizards. Now, believe it or not, Russell's been in the league for 11 years now. This past season with the Mavs, he averaged 10 points and 4 assists in those 26 games with Dallas. Finally, it's that time of year again. The Peabody Hotel, the South's Grand Hotel in downtown Memphis. It's been nominated for Best Historic Hotel in USA Today's 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards. For them to win, they need your help. They don't just get this because they're the Peabody. No, you roll out every year and place the votes for the Ducks. For now, through August 3rd, you can vote for the Peabody Hotel. The top 10 winners will be announced on August 12th. If you go to our website, actionnews5.com, we've got a link to the website that takes you to vote. If not for me, do it for the Ducks. Come on. I mean, it's just every year we do this, Peabody shows up, reps that top 10 list. Just stands the test of time. All right, guys, going to break real quick. More Action News 5 when we come back. Stay with us. All right, folks, welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Fun interview for you at 10 o'clock. I saw this on social media, reached out to the University of Memphis and says, I've got to have these guys, a group of students that help produce a video game, believe it or not. Not like, you know, your dorm room, oh yeah, I made a video game through some coding. Like, this is actually a video game that you can see with Xbox, I believe. But I don't want to botch this. I want to get right into it with my good friend here, Garrett Sewing, who's just graduated from the University of Memphis, computer science major, a part of the team that made this video game, Molly the Marble. Garrett, we've got some video that you provided us. Thank you again for that. We'll show a little bit of that as you talk more about the video game. I first want to just get into how this all started. I mean, computer scientists, you know, there's a lot of things you can do. You stuck with video game. What was the inspiration behind this? How did this all start? Good morning.
Good morning. It started when I was young. I'm a really big fan of video games, and I'm a really fan of the joy that it brings me. So I was hoping that I could bring that joy to other people by making games that I enjoy playing, that they would enjoy to play. Um, and that's always been my inspiration going forward, just to make people happy with what I could produce.
So obviously, video games, big passion. A lot of us in this world. Who could? I mean, look, I'm from the era where I would wait outside of GameStop for Modern Warfare 2. If that tells you how old I am. But nevertheless, you come to University of Memphis, you declare a major of computer science, you get connected with these other people, and then get involved with this game, Molly the Marble. We'll show some video in just a second. How did Molly the Marble come to pass? Was it any inspiration on your part, or did the game creator come to you and say, we have an idea for a video game, we'd like you to help with that? How did you get involved with that?
Molly the Marble was one of the capstone projects that we were presented in our capstone class, which you need to graduate. And it was brought to us in a functional state, like they had the groundwork laid out. And what we did was put polish on it. So we did the camera movements, we did the sound effects, we did a bit of lighting, a bit of texturing. Uh, we put in some commands. So we just helped the four of us split up and helped the team in all aspects of developing this video game.
We're showing video of it right now. I mean, this looks like something I would get for someone I'm trying to introduce to video games. You know, you don't start out with your Call of Duties or your Assassin's Creed. Like, you would start with something like this, something that looks very kid friendly, something that's interactive. You develop those fine motor skills. Was the idea to have something that was geared toward a certain demographic? This was a capstone project. For those who don't know, that's sort of like a dissertation. You're defending a final project, if you will. What was the inspiration behind it? I mean, I love the concept.
So you can see it in the video you just showed, but the graphical inspiration was like a scrapbook world, like a world pieced together with cardboard, uh, foam, things that you could just find laying around a craft store. And the gameplay wise, yes, you're right. It is like an introductory game. It's a cozy puzzle game that you could, leisure your way through. There's not too much at stake. There's not too much put on you. It's very forgiving in its design because we want to capitalize fun above all else.
And so, talk to us about, at the very beginning of that video, you see the iconic Xbox logo. This got picked up, correct? Like, am I to assume that this has got picked up and you can play this now on an Xbox?
Not currently. It will be coming out next early next year, I believe. But it will
Okay.
be on Xbox as well as PlayStation and Nintendo Switch.
Fantastic. Be advised. Was that a surprise to you? You know, this is something, hey, computer scientist, this is a senior project. Let's do something that is forgiving in its design. Was it in the cards or on the bingo card that this was going to get picked up by a major game console company?
No, it was actually quite surprising that it came through like that. We put a lot of work in, me, the team, everyone else, and it's great to see that it paid off with interest from these really developed companies that you grow up idolizing. So it was a very nice surprise.
So we were talking off camera. You've just graduated the University of Memphis. Plans are in the making. You're in that perfect age, 22, 23. What am I supposed to do with my life now after college? I was there myself. What are we thinking? After this instant, this surprise of Xbox, PlayStation picking up Molly the Marble, is that influencing you to go into video game creation, or do you have other passions that you're wanting to explore with your degree? Because I mean, this has got to be an indicator. This could be the start of something. What's on your mind?
Video game creation is very hopeful. That was kind of the ballpark I was in before, but this is definitely solidified that my skills are worthy of the industry that I'm striving for. So this influences a refocus on that. So I will, really be trying to put myself out there, applying to more game companies, see if I can pick up a full-time position at any of those.
I mean, you said it right there. I mean, an indication of your content being worthy is that it gets picked up by Xbox and PlayStation. One more time, Garrett, tell folks if anyone saw this, if it's a parent who's wanting to introduce something safe, something introductory to their kids, and maybe they looked at this design and thought, wow, that looks like something I would get for my kid. Where will they be able to find it? When will it be released? Tell us one more time.
Um, I do not know the tentative release date. It will be released early next year at the latest. This is findable on PlayStation Store, on the Xbox Store, on the Nintendo Switch Store, and it will also be on Steam on PC. I forgot to mention that earlier. But
Awesome,
any
on
digital
Steam.
store where you buy games, it'll be available.
Big Steam guy myself. In my older age, when I've got kids, I actually sold my Xbox, but I still get on Steam, so that's good to know. All right, I'm appreciative of that. Garrett Suing, recent graduate of University of Memphis, computer science major. Congratulations on that getting picked up. Very fun to see how it's one of those introductory moments. How a senior capstone project became a launch for Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, places where you can buy your games. Congratulations on your success with that, and best of luck to whatever it is you decide to do. Hopefully it's still gaming. We appreciate you coming on the digital desk and telling us your story. Welcome back, guys. Let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis. Summer downpours, something that you may have been part of over the last couple of days. Well, they're going to continue to be part of the story. A stalled frontal boundary wavering across the Mid-South will continue for the mid and latter portion of this week. So expect randomly placed, randomly timed showers and storms here. And of course, not everybody will find themselves getting wet any one day, but there will be at least an opportunity. So prepare to have some alternative plans. And those impacts of downpours, gusty winds, and frequent lightning, those downpours could come down heavy enough that could lead up to some localized flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas. As we go through the course of the day today, go ahead and be prepared for another wave of showers and storms here across the afternoon hours. We'll get closer to about lunchtime, and we'll start to see some of those showers and storms beginning to billow up. Some of the downpours may be sluggish. That could lead up to some low-lying poor drainage areas. Not everybody finding themselves underneath rain and storms, but there will at least be a shot for some of you to have to tangle with that throughout the afternoon hours. Tomorrow, same idea. We'll start off with some sunshine. It'll be a toasty day. High temperatures will top out lower to a few mid-90s, and a few spotty downpours to develop during the afternoon and early evening hours, coming and going pretty quickly after sunset as temperatures warm up again lower to middle 90s. Feels like temperatures will be up around 100. We head into Friday. Lather, rinse, repeat, but different stories. That the frontal boundary starts to slip a little farther down to the south. That'll kick off a little better chance for a few showers, mainly north of I-40. As we start off the day amid clouds, the clouds will start to break up for more periods of sunshine with highs in the low and mid 90s coming up on Friday afternoon. The weekend does look to feature a better chance for rain. I don't think it's a washout though. We head into your Saturday, probably starting off with some sunshine, maybe a shower or two in a few spots. Clouds will start to thicken up, and eventually as we head through the evening and overnight period, that's when the chances for rain will begin to increase as another front starts to slip a little farther down to the south. That leads up to more of a scattered variety of showers and thunderstorms heading into your Sunday, off and on as we head throughout the course of the day. Maybe a little wet as we head through your Sunday. Highs will top out middle to upper 80s that day. Monday still features a chance for a few showers and storms. I think mainly in the early portion of it, but it's all dependent ultimately of how quickly this frontal boundary can slip a little farther down to the south. We'll top out upper 80s, close to 90 as we head through your Monday, and then Tuesday we'll keep the warming trend continuing into the low and mid 90s coming up for Tuesday, and the extended forecast features about the same, probably our toastiest portion of next week coming in through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as a big ridge of high pressure develops across the upper Midwest. That will also feature some big time heat for them. For us, we're already on the edge of it. So the question mark is, will we be on the edge of it that we still just see the heat, or will we be on the edge of it and we end up seeing some showers and storms kind of riding the edge of that ridge of high pressure? To be seen at this point, but at any rate, in between any shower and thunderstorm opportunities, it'll definitely be hot. The same idea over the next couple of days. So keep an umbrella nearby. Stay up to date with the very latest anytime and everywhere on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. And if anything does go down, of course, we'll be the first to alert you to any changes.
All right, thanks, Patrick. I'm working in real time, folks, because I want to be able to pull up something for you. We've got a very active scene in East Memphis, and if I can find the correct switcher, because over here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, we're working as a one-man band. Let me see if I can pull this up. View 1, working in real time. Got it. Okay, perfect. So do that, do that. All right, I've got it pulled up, folks. So what we're working with right now is a very active scene. This is the 6500 block of Poplar Avenue. This is in East Memphis. We've just arrived on scene. We got a tip about this presence. Not sure to the extent of the reason behind this, but there is a crime scene being established. There is yellow tape, a perimeter. This is the extended stay. We have reason to believe this is a shooting, an active shooting, not an active shooting scene, but we do believe this involves a shooting. We've reached out to Memphis Police for additional context, but once again, this is the 6500 block of Poplar Avenue. the extended stay. This is East Memphis. It appears to be multiple law enforcement agencies responding to this. So we're going to stay on top of this. Again, very active scene. We've just arrived. We have a scheduled interview for 9:30. So we're going to go to break. We're going to come back to you with Senator Reginald Jackson from the state of Mississippi, state senator from Mississippi District 11, about an event that's been organized for this upcoming weekend. We're going to go to break, come back, introduce him, but in the same time, stay on top of this active scene. And as we get new information, we'll provide that to you in the very coming minutes, hours, whenever we find more information. Stay with us, guys.
How are you hanging in?
I'm probably gonna crash today, to be honest.
Yeah, I bet.
Hey there, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. We are in
Good.
break right now. I gave a little preview to what we're going to be talking about. I've got the flyer that I'm going to throw up while we're talking. But yeah, you and me, 5 to 15 minutes, however long we want to make this be.
Okay.
But yeah, not a
Appreciate
huge
it.
deal.
I know.
We're about to come out to break, and then I'll introduce you.
Yeah, I am.
This is right. Okay.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. As we teased before break, we've got a special guest coming to us. Redistricting talks have fallen in and out of the headlines. A lot of it came hot and heavy into the early parts of the summer, especially here in Tennessee, with regard to the special session in Nashville that, at last check, will dice up Shelby County, the former 9th district, into 3 different congressional districts. Those political campaigns are well underway, but Mississippi has its own fight ahead of it with regard to redistricting. I think a lot of people were surprised that a special session was not called to do the same thing Tennessee does. Nevertheless, a rally is scheduled for this Saturday in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And to talk more about this, I'm welcoming here Senator Reginald Jackson of the 11th District of Mississippi, which represents several counties, including Quitman, a little bit of Tunica, DeSoto, Marks, well established in the Delta. Senator Jackson, welcome. We'll just go ahead and get into it, where we just kind of asked the why. You know, Mississippi didn't offer a special session to do the same thing Tennessee does. Nevertheless, you hear comments from, for example, Lieutenant Governor Hosemann during the Neshoba County Fair fairly recently, basically saying it's not a matter of if, but when redistricting will happen for the state legislative, state Supreme Court, and of course the sort of the big talking point, the congressional districts in the Delta. So I've kind of answered the why, but I don't want to take words out of your mouth. But let's go into the planning behind this event. Why this Saturday? What are we hoping to achieve? Good morning, sir.
So good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you giving me a platform to speak here. This is a very important thing for us here in the Delta, state of Mississippi, period. Redistricting has taken this nation perhaps by storm, and we are right here at the head of it here in Mississippi. Now, we didn't have our session, it was canceled, but that doesn't mean we don't need to still bring awareness to this. That doesn't mean that it's not coming down the pipe. That doesn't mean that it won't be here sooner than some people may imagine. So we have to have this rally. It's Mississippi Delta Day of Action. It's similar to what was held down in Jackson. We're expecting a large turnout. A lot of community partners, a lot of people from all over the state, from all over the Delta have come together to put this thing together. We are expecting a lot of energy, a lot of support from the community, just a lot of good things to happen here at this rally on Saturday in Clarksdale. I've been working on it for a couple weeks now. It's been put together pretty quickly, but we think it's going to be a really, really, really good show. We know it's going to be a really, really, really good show, and people are going to be informed about what's going on here. The basis of it is redistricting and your voting rights and what it means to have the right to vote and why you should exercise that right to vote. And I think redistricting in the way that it's being done and talked about right now, not only in this state but in the country, is a perfect example of why you should be informed and why you should vote, so you'd elect politicians who have your best interests at heart.
Certainly. We can get into some of the logistics. You mentioned the rally in Jackson. There were several that our sister station down there, WLBT, covered. You had, big names, Congressman Benny Thompson showing up to make his case and to sort of rally the people, if you will. Who can we expect to be here? Not necessarily to say the name is going to bring the people, but who can we expect? Obviously, Congressman Thompson represents that area of Clarksdale, Coahoma County. Who can we expect from the state, possibly congressional leadership, to speak and help inform the people? And while you're talking, we'll throw up the flyer too, so folks can know, when it is, where it is, and how they can get involved.
Well, unfortunately, the congressman won't be able to join us. The schedule just did not align, but he does send his support. His office sends their support, and we do expect to still have a wonderful, wonderful showing. There will be several people, community leaders from around the Delta there. Myself, Representative Tamika James Jones, Representative Otha Williams from Clarksdale, Representative Otis Anthony from Indianola, Senator Teresa Isom from DeSoto County. We'll have Justin Crosby, Representative Justin Crosby from Tupelo area. Sorry. We'll have several of my colleagues down there. Jaribu Hill with the Mississippi Workers Center for Human Rights. We'll have Daniel Holmes, Mississippi Poor People's Campaign. Robert Jackson, Quitman County Development Organization, former state senator. Several religious leaders in our area, in our community, that are near and dear to our hearts, people that know the struggle and the things that they have seen in the past, that they are seeing now come again. And we're trying to get these young folks energized and informed as to what they're seeing before their eyes. Some people are just still not grasping how serious this is and how under attack your voting rights are here in the state of Mississippi. So we have a large line of people, entertainers. Tiffany Chillis, she's a wonderful soloist from Quitman County. She'll be singing for us. We have Andre Knowles. He's the choir director for Clarksdale High School. He'll be singing for us. We have a wonderful, wonderful lineup of people. Lots of information going to be going forward. We really, really would like everyone in the area to be out and come and support us.
You and I have both talked about this in the past. For those who don't know, Senator Jackson and I, as well as, he mentioned Teresa Gillespie Isom, helped with a story about redistricting and their districts in particular in our coverage area of North Mississippi. You've got a state like Mississippi who's almost a carbon copy of Tennessee, 2 seats shy of a supermajority in the Congress there in Jackson. And so a very large Republican majority. Many of the more vocal ones are in favor of redistricting talks and quote unquote ousting Benny Thompson from the 2nd district. And that trickles down to the state legislature, state Supreme Court. What do you hope to achieve through this rally? Obviously awareness, but is the goal to encourage voter turnout? Is the goal to encourage more engagement with state leaders who are advocating for this, like Governor Reeves, Lieutenant Governor Hosemann, State Auditor Shad White, who's been very vocal on social media? You talk about the younger demographic. What are our goals to come out of this upcoming event with what seems to be a lot stacked against those who align with the Democratic Party here in Mississippi?
The ultimate goal is to increase voter turnout. The ultimate goal is to increase voter turnout. That's the bottom line. That's what wins elections, votes, and we're trying to turn people out. So we want them informed. We want them also engaged. We don't want them to just come out because they're being afraid. We want them to be proactive. We want them to know that the people that they put in office has an effect on everything that they do in life, how much tax they pay, the way their roads look, the way the parks look, the way their school systems are ran, the way the materials the schools have, the opportunities that the students have, the opportunities that you have economically in your areas. All that is dependent upon your elected officials. So you must be engaged with your elected officials. You can't say you're not into politics, because anyone who pays taxes, you're into politics. So you must be engaged, and that is what we're looking for here. We have the car stacked against us with the Democratic Party in the state of Mississippi, but I firmly believe that the Democratic Party of Mississippi is the party that has the state's best interest in mind. And I'm not just talking about the interest of the Democrats. I'm talking about the best interest of all Mississippians. The policies that are coming out of the Democratic Party and the Mississippi State Legislature are the policies that have the best interest of the state in mind. And I urge and I'd ask all my Republican friends from the state of Mississippi to just look into some of the policies, look into some of the things that the Democrats have put forth. These things do not hurt. These things are to build and to help. They're not handouts. They're simply things that will get this state on a plane that we will be seen nationally for the bright star that we all know that we are. We are Mississippi. We are Mississippi. We are the heartbeat of this country. We are the heartbeat of this land. Here in the Mississippi Delta, we believe that firmly, and we believe that we can do our part and let the Lord do the rest. And this state will be exactly what we know it is. We know it in our hearts to be the best place in the country, and we want everyone else to know that. So I urge everyone to just look into the policies of your senators and your representatives and your elected officials. Look into the votes. Look into what they vote for farmers and for education. Look into the votes. Don't listen to the rhetoric. Look into the votes. The votes tell the truth. The Democratic Party is the party for the people in the state of Mississippi.
Thank you for that. So, it appears that any redistricting talks will be a part of simply the next General Assembly. And so beyond this event Saturday, we've got, several months in between then and now. And so you talk about, urging Republican colleagues. Have you had any conversations, any personal conversations, any behind closed doors conversations with, we don't have to name names, fellow Republican lawmakers about redistricting talks? Any work across the aisle to try and, make them see your side that, we're not Tennessee, we're not Texas, we're not Virginia, we're not any of the states, red or blue, that have been trying to do these redistricting talks. What have those conversations been like? Any intention on having more of those between now and the next General Assembly in Jackson?
The lines of communication are always open. If you would come to our chamber and give a look, we've had representatives from other states come to our chamber and see the way that we get along in our chamber. We're not fighting each other in there all the time. We actually get along with one another. So the atmosphere in our chamber is generally a jovial one. We're usually just doing our work together as best we can, but we're not fighting. We're not Democrat versus Republican yelling at each other. We're not doing that in our chamber. So we already know how to we know how to conduct ourselves with decorum. We know how to conduct ourselves as adults and as gentlemen, as gentlewomen and men and senators and representatives. We know how to get along. We've been doing that. So I would urge my colleagues to just continue to do what's best for the state of Mississippi, put politics aside and do what's best for the state. As far as redistricting, General Assembly next, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't go back before the end of the year to tackle this. This is why it is very necessary for people to come out and be informed and to know what is going on, because we need people to show up when they call us back. We're not going to wait till the last minute to ring the alarm. We'll ring the alarm right now. It is time to show up.
All right, and so I'm going to quickly throw up the flyer so we can see it once more and get the logistics. So it's this Saturday, folks, July 11th. There's a hearing from 2 to 4, followed by a rally from 4 to 6. Stay there the full 4 hours if you'd like. It's going to be at Coahoma Community College. Address is there, 3240 Friars Point Road in Clarksdale. Senator Jackson, thank you again for coming to raise some awareness. Final thoughts before we let you go.
Mississippi is great, and we're going to show you what Mississippi is all about on Saturday. Everyone come out and support and be a part of the future of Mississippi. Be a part of the future. Be on the right side of what's going to happen here in the state of Mississippi. We're going up, and everyone here is a part of it. Trust in God, and He will lead our path. Amen.
Amen. Mississippi is great. I like it. I like leaving it there. Senator Jackson, thank you again for coming. Hopefully a good turnout in Clarksdale this Saturday. We'll probably follow up with you as these talks continue. We've been friendly with Teresa Gillespie Isom and the Republicans too. Very open dialogue, like you say, not infighting, just two different opinions. We're both working for the best for the state, but in the Democrats' case, trying to raise awareness in the Delta. We appreciate you once again for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, special thanks again to Senator Jackson for that. Thanks again for listening into that, guys. If you need any more information, we're going to try and have that on our website, actionnews5.com. But if not, Senator Jackson has his own presence on social media where you can find more information on this weekend's event. More Action News 5 after the break, guys. Stay with us. Thanks again, sir. Very good. Appreciate you once again making it work on short notice.
That was live. I didn't realize.
Oh, did you not? Oh, that's on me. I apologize. I thought it went great.
I got a text. I see you on Action News 5. I'm so proud of you. What?
I thought it was
taped.
good.
I don't know how. Okay, well, I appreciate it. I hope I didn't. Oof. Gosh, okay. Well, there it is.
No, I
Thank
mean,
you.
seriously. I mean, part of it is like, it's a little flexibility. It's 5 to 15 minutes. We, got right in there in the middle at 10. It was authentic. No, I thought it was good. Just you and me chatting about the talks that have been had, talks that might happen, all leading up to the event this Saturday. So I thought it was good. Again, we'll cut this, put it on our website, and then you can share it on social media as you work harder to raise more awareness about the event. I've actually got to go, so I'm going to let you go. But no, let's keep in touch. I really appreciate you letting me know about the event.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Take care,
Good
sir.
day.
You too. All right, folks, welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Still keeping a track on this very active scene. We're going to go back to it real quick as soon as I figure out how to talk and chew gum at the same time. We've got it up here. For those just now joining us, we received a tip and were able to confirm by responding to the scene. This is the 6500 block of Poplar Avenue. The extended stay specifically is where this is. Appears to be a very active scene. Multiple agencies have responded, obviously taped off. We have reason to believe this is a shooting. We've reached out to Memphis Police to confirm on that, but a very large presence and a very large response at this extended stay. 6500 block of Poplar Avenue, specifically in East Memphis, is where this is. Paying attention to my email here to see if there has been any response. And it looks like about 5 minutes ago, Memphis Police say they're working on, they were working on it, but they have, Memphis Police has informed us to contact the Memphis Safe Task Force. So it looks as though I wasn't going to say anything, but it looks like there are task force members there, but looks can be deceiving. So we have confirmation that running point on this particular scene is the Memphis Safe Task Force. We've been instructed to reach out to their public informations officer. It appears we've done just that. Yep, did that 2 minutes ago. Special thanks to our digital content manager, Hannah Kozlowski, for making that request. Again, very active scene, guys. We're going to cut in periodically as we learn more. We're going to go back to our regularly scheduled rundown. Bit of a tongue twister there. So let's go ahead and go into some good news. How about that? How about little levity? All right, I'm behind that. Are you? You should be. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. And we're trying to crawl to the finish line that is Friday. So here's something that's Tennessee related that I found. So a certain music icon, I'll just put the cat out of the bag. It's Dolly. She's headed from the Smoky Mountains to the Big Apple, where David Daniel has more on the Hollywood Minute that includes Dolly on Hollywood.
I can officially announce that Dolly, a true original musical, is coming to Broadway.
You heard it from the source. The musical about Dolly Parton's life, loves, losses, and finding her way heads to Broadway in December. The music legend says it includes some of her biggest hits and new songs Parton wrote for the show. More info at dollymusical.com. New music from U2. Street of Dreams is from the band's first new studio album in 9 years. They shot the video in Mexico City in May. The album, no title announced yet, is due out later this year. In September, it'll be 50 years since U2 formed in Dublin.
Hey, you and I can heal the past. And together, we can build a new world.
Welcome to Team Avatar.
Return to the Four Nations with Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. Aang and his friends learn of an ancient power that could save his culture from extinction or shatter the peace they worked so hard to build. The original movie debuts July 25th on Paramount+. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Straight confirmation. Is he attractive?
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. If you saw that previous Hollywood Minute, if you have any reason, if you didn't have a reason to go to New York City, you might want to in December when Dolly, the new Hollywood musical, debuts on Broadway. Very exciting development for that. She apparently wrote some new music specifically for the musical. I mean, you got to buy the soundtrack at the very least or listen to it on YouTube. We've got a full show. We just had Senator Reginald Jackson at the bottom of this hour. Coming up, we've got two special guests. At 10 o'clock, we have some representatives from the city of Bolivar. They've got a fun downtown development project that we want to show you. And at the bottom of the hour at 10:30, we've got the executive director from the DeSoto County Dream Center. Last week, we were at the ribbon cutting for their new center in Olive Branch. The ribbon was just cut on that. They'll be joining us to talk about the center, the growth of the DeSoto County Dream Center, and their intent and their service to the DeSoto County area. If you'll excuse me, I've just received a sticky note. I'll ask more information about that. While I look for that, let's go ahead and get a final look at weather with First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis. Summer downpour, something that you may have been part of over the last couple of days. Well, they're going to continue to be part of the story. A stalled frontal boundary wavering across the Mid-South will continue for the mid and latter portion of this week. So expect randomly placed, randomly timed showers and storms here. And of course, not everybody will find themselves getting wet any one day, but there will be at least an opportunity. So prepare to have some alternative plans. And those impacts of downpours, gusty winds, and frequent lightning, those downpours could come down heavy enough that could lead up to some localized flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas. As we go through the course of the day today, go ahead and be prepared for another wave of showers and storms here across the afternoon hours. We'll get closer to about lunchtime, and we'll start to see some of those showers and storms beginning to billow up. Some of the downpours may be sluggish. That could lead up to some low-lying poor drainage areas. Not everybody finding themselves underneath rain and storms, but there will at least be a shot for some of you to have to tangle with that throughout the afternoon hours. Tomorrow, same idea. We'll start off with some sunshine. It'll be a toasty day. High temperatures will top out lower to a few mid-90s, and a few spotty downpours to develop during the afternoon and early evening hours, coming and going pretty quickly after sunset as temperatures warm up again, lower to middle 90s. Feels like temperatures will be up around 100. We head into Friday. Lather, rinse, repeat, but different stories. At the frontal boundary starts to slip a little farther down to the south, they'll kick off a little better chance for a few showers, mainly north of I-40 as we start off the day amid clouds. The clouds will start to break up for more periods of sunshine with highs in the low and mid 90s coming up on Friday afternoon. The weekend does look to feature a better chance for rain. I don't think it's a washout though. We head into your Saturday, probably starting off with some sunshine, maybe a shower or two in a few spots. Clouds will start to thicken up, and eventually as we head through the evening and overnight period, that's when the chances for rain will begin to increase as another front starts to slip a little farther down to the south. That leads up to more of a scattered variety of showers and thunderstorms heading into your Sunday, off and on as we head throughout the course of the day. Maybe a little wet as we head through your Sunday. Highs will top out middle to upper 80s that day. Monday still features a chance for a few showers and storms. I think mainly in the early portion of it, but it's all dependent ultimately of how quickly this frontal boundary can slip a little farther down to the south. We'll top out upper 80s, close to 90 as we head through your Monday, and then Tuesday. We'll keep the warming trend continuing into the low and mid 90s coming up for Tuesday, and the extended forecast features about the same, probably our toastiest portion of next week coming in through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as a big ridge of high pressure develops across the upper Midwest. That will also feature some big time heat for them. For us, we're already on the edge of it. So the question mark is, will we be on the edge of it that we still just see the heat, or will we be on the edge of it and we end up seeing some showers and storms kind of riding the edge of that ridge of high pressure? To be seen at this point, but at any rate, in between any shower and thunderstorm opportunities, it'll definitely be hot. The same idea over the next couple of days. So keep an umbrella nearby. Stay up to date with the very latest anytime and everywhere on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. And if anything does go down, of course, we'll be the first to alert you to any changes.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Parker King. As we get into the second half of this hour, I mentioned the two interviews, one with regard to the downtown project in Bolivar, as well as the new facility for the DeSoto County Dream Center. A few things to also look out for. We've got two press conferences that are to be happening in the next hour. One of them being the forensic audit that was done on Memphis-Shelby County schools. At last check, that is slated to be officially released by the State Comptroller's Office in Nashville at 10:30. Imani Williams is in Nashville at this very moment. We'll be throwing up a live shot to the feed of that press conference. We'll also be streaming that live even after we're off the Action News 5 digital desk and into Action News 5 midday. You'll still be able to go into that press conference if you have any interest in watching live. For those who don't remember, back in April, the State Comptroller's Office and top Republicans gathered in Nashville at the state capitol to talk about the audit. It was only 25% of the way done, but already they were announcing that they had found millions of dollars in waste and abuse in the Memphis-Shelby County schools budget. We're anxiously curious to see what additionally they find in the full audit that they're intending to release at 10:30. The other one has to do with conditions at 201 Poplar. We received an announcement only a couple of hours ago about the Shelby County Sheriff's Office holding a press conference to talk about jail conditions at 201 Poplar. Obviously a lot of, I don't want to say infighting, but there's been a lot of talk about 201 Poplar, its current state, and the need for a new jail has been a major topic of discussion. All of that supposedly happening in the next hour, along with the live feed that we have at the extended stay in East Memphis, where members of the Memphis State Task Force at last check looks as though they're surrounding the hotel. So a few things that have fallen on our plate in the last hour or so here on the Action News 5 digital desk, trying to follow all of it in real time and bring you the latest updates. We're going to go to one final break as we welcome our friends from the city of Bolivar to talk about an upcoming project they're wanting to start for the downtown area. Stay with us, guys. One final break before we go into the 10 o'clock portion of the Action News 5 digital desk. We hope you stay with us. Be right back. Hey, Dylan, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Well, sir, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Fantastic. All right. Got you thrown up. Just gave a little tease about what we'll be talking about. Got all the pictures. Appreciate you sending that over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let me see. All right, got us ready. Perfect, perfect. Got the pictures. All right, we're about 30 seconds out. Again, this is very flexible. You and me chit-chatting, calling all qualified, that's the important note, qualified artists, not just any person with a spray can.
Right. That's right.
All right. 10 seconds out. All right, guys, welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. About 2 minutes before 10, but I think we'll be okay because he's already here. We've been talking about the project in Bolivar that we're going to be joined by Dylan Hill, our friend from Bolivar. He's the Director of Community Development and Tourism for the city of Bolivar. And Dylan, we'll go ahead and just pull the cat out of the bag here. This is a bit of a downtown mural project. You know, exposed brick was a fad, but in Bolivar, we seem to have a lot of it. And we're wanting to add a little color, a little flair. So calling all qualified artists, and we're going to show some pictures of some of the potential facades that could be, you know, the next canvas for a lucky artist to add a little vibrancy to downtown. Dylan, first and foremost, welcome. Thanks for coming on to talk a little bit more about the project. Let's talk about the why. You know, every historic downtown has its own niche, its own class and character. What was it that inspired the folks in Bolivar to sort of launch this bit of a feeler, this bit of an unofficial RFP to artists to try and put their name in to paint a mural in downtown Bolivar? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I appreciate it having me on this morning. First and foremost, I'll just say that this has been a long time coming. This is something that we've wanted to do for a while now. For multiple aspects. One, we know that things like art projects like this bring the community together, and we think that our people are our greatest asset here in Bolivar, and so we really lean into that, and that's something that we want to highlight through this mural project is our people. And the second thing is that it is a economic driver in that it brings people to town to see things like this. People love just a opportunity for a photo shoot, selfie center, for that social media aspect. So we are hoping to be able to draw people in through this mural as well.
I think you're 100% right on that. You know, I don't leave it up to question on where I graduated from, Mississippi State University, and in Starkville, you have a lot of buildings that are historic in that downtown Main Street, but had a lot of exposed brick, and now they have these murals where you see them all over the place now because it is a desirable location to have that aesthetic in the background. So you sent me a couple of these facades. I'm going to throw them up and just have you talk about some of the buildings in no particular order. You know, what are the history behind some of these buildings, and you know, what do we hope to obviously add a mural, but like you said, an economic driver, a tourism driver to bring folks in. Let's show a little preview about some of the potential canvases, if you will.
All right. So this is adjacent to our farmers market. It is on the main strip here. That's not Main Street, it's actually Market Street, but it is our main street through town. And it has got a great opportunity. Obviously, you see a lot of brick there, no windows, so a blank canvas, but also it is in that parking lot where so many festivals and events take place, right there at the farmers market. So you not only can see it going down Market Street there, but it's also going to add some flair if chosen for the farmers market area.
Got it. All right, we got the next one here.
This is also on Market Street, just down the street a little bit. I'm sorry, this is on Main Street, rather, just down the street a little bit in the same strip of buildings. You do have some windows there, but that could add some flair to the mural. And it will be right across the street from our new boutique hotel that is being funded through our downtown redevelopment program. that we just got extended. So we're excited about that coming. It's going to be utilizing the old Bank of Bolivar building, which is a historic building that burned a few years ago. That whole side of the street burned. The shell is still there. The plan is to build that up as the lobby and then build a boutique hotel from anywhere between 60 and 90 rooms off to the side of
Okay.
that. So this is another great opportunity for that. There's going to hopefully in the plans is a rooftop bar there, and to be able to look out and see that would be great.
Very nice.
This is right across the street from that. It would also be visible from the boutique hotel, and I like this one. This is probably personally my favorite because of the extended sidewalk there. This past spring, we did Bolivar Blooms, and where we were pushing people to our downtown businesses and giving them an opportunity to shop all day long on a Saturday and ended the night with a concert at Sand Beach Lake here in Bolivar. And so we set up just table and chairs there for people to stop. We put some street musicians there, and so I think it would be a great opportunity too. Again, a lot of windows there, but that doesn't hold back from the mural, and maybe could be even included into the mural.
Perfect. And finally, it looks like we've got part of a mural that maybe can be restored or added to. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, so this is probably, in my mind, the least likely spot, not because there's anything wrong with it, but because there is the historic advertising mural there. That was an old Purina advertising mural on the side of that
Okay.
building. And so I'm just not completely sold on covering it up. I know it doesn't look that great and that you can't necessarily tell what it was, but there is a lot of history there. However, that building is across the street from one of our fine dining restaurants in downtown, Simon's, and so they have an outdoor area there, patio to eat at, and then again an indoor bar and nice dining room. And so it would look out directly to that. That's a perk there. And that building, that side of the building that you see there, is going to be turned into a high-end event center, and so I'm sure that that could add to that as well.
Dylan, you're good at your job. We've done several plugins along with the mural. We've got boutique hotels, we've got festivals. I mean, you just talked about a little high-end event center. Very good at your job. And so you do make the note that these are potential canvases, if you will. What is the selection process for some of these buildings, these potential mural sites? And let's get into the important note that we made off camera, is that these are for qualified artists, not just any person who has painting as a hobby with a can of spray paint. So let's go through the selection process for both the potential mural site and also the artists that we hope to attract with this project.
Absolutely. So first, we want to have an artist who can give us their opinion on the best mural site, specifically because of those windows, because of visibility. To be the artist chosen for this, you're going to have a history of murals. We're going to want to see your work. We're going to want to see what you've done, and so that's part of that RFQ that we sent out. We want people that have a history in this. So that's first and foremost, and then we're going to take the experts' advice on where we actually place the mural. And so the dollar figure that we have to work with here is actually some grant dollars through the state of Tennessee's Celebration of America 250. And so we're excited about being able to utilize those funds, and we hope that there is even a possibility that there's enough funds there to maybe fund 2 of these mural sites. And so that would be an even added bonus for us.
Awesome. So you talk about that RFQ process. For those who might see this, they know somebody or they personally have experience doing this. Where can they find more information to where they can submit an application or portfolio and throw their name in the hat as a potential artist for this project?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's on our website, City of Bolivar website, and our Facebook page, City of Bolivar, Tennessee Government Facebook page. All of the full RFQ is there. For artists or, again, people that might want to send it to an artist. We encourage people tagging others in that Facebook post. We've seen that that's one of the best ways to get the information out. I have personally responded to some of those that we've had tagged just to put it in their inbox because I don't want this to be just a couple of options here. I want us to have the full spread to give us the best opportunity at getting the best artist for downtown Bolivar.
Love it. Final question, Dylan, maybe more of a personal question. I mean, you're the Director of Community Development and Tourism. We've plugged a lot in, these murals that you talk is about it being a long time coming, boutique hotels, high-end event centers, rooftop bars, just as someone in your position overseeing all of this come to fruition, if you will. It's got to be an exciting time for Bolivar in terms of that downtown redevelopment, that revitalization, and just bringing people in to see what Bolivar's all about.
Absolutely. We've been blessed for the last 17 years to have our downtown revitalization going on through the State of Tennessee grant program that we're a part of. And so we see this as the kind of the peak. This is where we're going to really be able to shine. This boutique hotel is going to be an economic driver. We've already have established a lot of events here in Bolivar, a big event, a big festival about once a quarter, and then weekly music in downtown Bolivar throughout the summer. And so there's a lot of things going good for us. This is home to me. This has been home my entire life. And so it is a lot of pride for me to be able to work in this position and do what I do.
Fantastic. Well, hey, don't think that this is just about promo. Like, I want us to stay in touch. I want to know when you select an artist. I want to see what that artist ends up selecting if we do two, and eventually what that project is and what it looks like in downtown Bolivar. Dylan Hill, thanks for coming on, talking about the project. Oh, final thing. What's the cutoff, the deadline? When are we cutting off applications for this, and when do we hope to get this project ultimately started? Before I let you go, let's go into that
August
real quick.
3rd. Yeah, August 3rd is our cutoff for applications, and then this project has to be completed by the grant program by July 1st, 2027. So that is a stipulation that we're putting on the artist. You have to be able to tell us that you will complete the work by July the 1st, 2027. That's the only way we can do it with these grant dollars.
Okay, August 3rd is the cutoff. July 1st of 2027 is your deadline to get everything painted. Glad I caught myself before I let you go. And of course, like you said, you can find information on the City of Bolivar's website as well as their social media page. All right, well, second time's the charm. Dylan Hill, thanks again for coming on. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Parker. I appreciate it.
Fantastic, guys. All right, thanks again to the City of Bolivar for helping us promote that project. All right, guys, more Action News 5 Digital Desk after the break. Stay with us. Awesome. Thanks, Dylan. That was great.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the opportunity, and we'll keep you informed.
Please do. Yeah, that August 3rd, the cutoff, and when you pick somebody, let us know. We appreciate it. We'll have you back on.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Have a good day. Folks, welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Special thanks again to the City of Bolivar for coming on and talking about a project. I mean, it's true. A lot of these historic downtown areas are getting into the trend, if you will, of painting murals on the brick facades and their historic buildings. And it really is an attraction for folks to, add a little publicity to that downtown area. And I guess every mural's got their own specific flair, so when you see it, you almost know exactly where they are. So really excited to see how that project develops and really that whole downtown area from what it sounds like. At the top of the hour, guys, we're going to go into some of your top headlines as we get into our day here on Action News 5, starting with something that we're on the lookout for, the final results of the Memphis-Shelby County Schools audit. Now, they're expected to be officially released in Nashville at 10:30, so in less than 20 minutes. We've got a crew there in Nashville at the state capitol. For those who have not been following this, this is the the, I guess, financial forensic audit that's been done on the school district. Back in April, the Tennessee Comptroller's Office, along with some state Republicans, I mean, including, you just saw on your screen, Brent Taylor, Mark White, both represent Shelby County, parts of Shelby County. They only had 25% of the audit done, but from what we were told at that press conference back in April, they say they revealed millions in waste and abuse from the audit, from the district. Once again, Imani Williams is in Nashville now. On my screen, I am looking for her live feed that she's going to throw up as we head into that particular press conference. Once we see it, we'll likely take it live just so that we can hear just the beginnings of that. And again, you know, she'll have a full report on our shows, Action News 5. We've got shows all through the afternoon, guys. If you don't watch us, 3:30, 4, as well as 5 and 6. We'll see how many shows that she gets into, depending on what develops from this press conference. In other news, something to expect today, the federal sentencing for Memphis gynecologist Dr. Sanjeev Kumar. That's expected to continue. He was supposed to be in court at 9:30. Now, for those who haven't been following this case, this has been a months-long case that we've been following. He was convicted on several counts of healthcare fraud, not to mention reusing medical devices that were intended for single use. Yesterday, during day one of the sentencing, several of Kumar's victims were in court, very emotional from what we were told, some even crying. The judge has ruled in favor of enhanced sentencing for vulnerable victims, as well as obstruction and reckless risk. Also, another story that we're following, this is a man, Robert Grove, who went missing and was later found dead. Well, the teenager who allegedly killed him, his mother is now accused of covering up a murder. Now, she'll be back in court today. That was Bridget Riley, who you saw on your screen. She's in jail this morning under a $10,000 bail, but that bail will be reviewed this morning. She was supposed to be there for her bail hearing at 9 o'clock. Now, her 17-year-old son, the other person we talked about, Kenneth Riley, he was named and is charged with the murder of Robert Grove, the man who we first saw on your screen. The affidavit that we acquired from law enforcement showed jail calls between Bridget and her son Kenneth, apparently discussing getting rid of photos of Kenneth inside of Robert Grove's truck, and also destroying a phone that was believed to contain evidence. Shocking new developments that we have been following for the last day or so, and we'll have a full wrap as we learn more information. One that we don't have a lot of information on, something that happened last night, a child in the hospital this morning after getting shot in Frazier. Now, this happened around 7 o'clock yesterday evening at Denver Park. That's on Tulsa Avenue off North Watkins. At last check, that child is in critical condition. Like I said, not a lot we know about other than that. There's no word on any suspects or the child's age. Meanwhile, in Senatobia, there are calls now for the police officer who shot and killed one-year-old Cohen Wiley to be fired. More than that, charged with murder is what they want. Now, for those who've not been following, one-year-old Cohen Wiley was killed 3 weeks ago in a Walmart parking lot after officers responded to an alleged shoplifting call. This is video from last night's Senatobia Board of Aldermen meeting where activists filled the room demanding the removal of Sergeant Hunter Foster. There he is right there on your screen. Now, he is currently on paid leave while the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation investigates the shooting. But even though heavily redacted records make it impossible to know whether he's the one who shot Cohen, we do know that he is on paid leave. Regardless, now people at the meeting say justice needs to be served. Only one alderman spoke to the crowd yesterday. That was Alderman Demetrius Grant, saying there's not really much he can say out of fear of a lawsuit. 4 other members of the Board of Aldermen, as well as the mayor, remain silent. Activists say they're going to ask the federal government to investigate Senatobia Police Department. Let's get to some good news in North Mississippi. This is in Marshall County after yesterday, Jabil, a company that creates data infrastructure, also fun fact, Fortune 500 company, they're expanding. They already have a facility there. They're building a massive second facility with a price tag of $119 million, creating 2 8,200 new jobs. Again, this is their second investment, the second in a year, so rapidly expanding there in Marshall County. Great economic development news for that area. To Germantown now, where if you bike the trail near Beaver Loop, you'll soon have a new place to ride your bike. Recently, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen approved a contract to replace that closed section of trail near Beaver Loop. There's going to be a new 10-foot wide trail with improved shoulders for those who do take that route. The old boardwalk was taken out in 2024 because of damage, and people have apparently been going through the woods ever since. In the coming weeks, they're expecting to share more information about that project. And Millington's police chief handing in his badge, calling it a career. There he is, Chief Chris Stokes will retire on November 6th. He has served his entire career at Millington, nearly 30 years. They did share some old photos with us. I wonder if that will, let's see if I can get it. Let's see. There he is, Chris Stokes, early on his career, rising through the ranks from patrolman to detective. And only the last 4 years he's spent it as chief, nearly 30 years in law enforcement, serving the city of Millington. Now, we said November 6th. That's because he's going to be assisting the city over the next few months to ensure a smooth transition to his successor. New this morning, a Memphis judge says Shelby County is asking the Memphis City Courts and Clerk's Office to leave 201 Poplar. Judge Jane Chandler posted on Facebook last night that the lease has expired and they're on a 3-month extension. Action News 5's Joyce Peterson learned that the county asked the city to vacate by June 30th with hopes everyone would be out by October. Shelby County Chief Administrative Officer says more room is needed for 2 new judges moving in on September 1st. County Commissioner Mick Wright tells us Mayor Lee Harris didn't tell the commission about the move. Switching gears now, if you were with us during the show, we made mention about a couple of press conferences that are going to be happening in the next hour. One of them having to do with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office and 201 Poplar, apparently, working to throw up the shot now. We will take this live as we get ready for our 10:30 scheduled interview with the DeSoto County Dream Center. Let me make sure I have this correct. Okay, so here we have the feed, making sure I've got sound correctly. This is once again an advisory we received only a couple of hours ago from the Sheriff's Office to tell us more about conditions at 201 Poplar. We will take this live, stay as long as we can, see what this is about, and cut out for our 10:30 interview. So let's go ahead and take this live. And again, listen in. This is about conditions at 201 Poplar. We'll leave it up as long as we can as we feel there's important information to divulge. We were told that this press conference would not take long, so perhaps in the next 10 minutes we have everything we need. Anyway, let's take this live right now.
All right, we got everybody set. We're ready?
We're good.
Good morning and welcome everybody to the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. I am Derek Mills, the Assistant Chief Deputy for the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Today we will be briefing you and the public on some serious conditions at our Shelby County Jail. I'll make some introductions here in a second. Sheriff Floyd Bonner is off with some emergency dental procedure, and our Chief Deputy Anthony Buckner is out of town. To my right, I have our Chief Jailer, Kirk Fields, Yale Tyree with CWA.
Right here.
There you go. We have a lot of our members from AFS CME, Local 1733. Thank you for your support and being here. We've got Commissioner-elect Mark Billingsley. We have got members of the Shelby County Deputy Sheriff's Association, including President Mark Lowe and Vice President Richard McKinney. And with that being said, I will now have Chief Jailer Kirk Fields to the podium.
Good morning. And thank you for being here. On June 6th, the jail at 201 Poplar experienced a critical failure of the chillers which provide air conditioning to the building. As a result, temperatures in some areas rose above 92 degrees. 92 degrees. As soon as we became aware of the issue, my team acted quickly. Mayor Lee Harris owns and must maintain the building, so we notified him immediately. My team also began implementing measures to safeguard the health and safety of everyone in the facilities. Residents, judicial commissioners, kitchen workers, pretrial service personnel, general sessions clerks, medical providers, jail staff, and visitors. All of those people were impacted by the crushing heat. To address extreme heat, we brought in additional fans, dehumidifiers, rented portable air conditioners, and distributed Gatorade throughout the jail. I want to acknowledge and thank all of our staff and all of the others mentioned previously who worked tirelessly and under difficult conditions for several weeks to keep everyone at 201 Poplar safe. During this period, 5 contracted kitchen staff members from Aramark overheated and had to be sent home, with some unable to return to work for more than 6 days. 14 residents also required medical attention due to the heat. One was briefly hospitalized and has since fully recovered. We responded immediately and ensured that every individual affected received prompt medical care. After 1 month of repairs, replacements, and terrible heat, temporary chillers are now in place, and temperatures in most of our main housing areas have returned to normal. However, some areas, including the lower level and first floor where intake, records and identification, and jail annex are located, are still in the upper 70s. While these conditions are not ideal, we are continuing to do everything possible. We have been relentless in asking the mayor's office to complete permanent repairs as soon as possible and to focus on preventive maintenance and in obtaining spare parts for the outdated pieces of equipment before they shut down again. We continue to have leaks, sometimes diesel fuel from support services, emergency generators, and sometimes water from the roof, most of which seems to end up in the kitchen and its electrical cabinets. Right now, the mayor has crews repairing the jail's fire alarm system. That system was down for over a month while the diesel fuel was flooding in the kitchen and the fire alarm is still not working. However, we are mediating this with fire watches. We never know which outdated piece of equipment will break next, creating dangerous conditions in the facility. Another round of dangerously high temperatures are predicted for Shelby County. The city mayor is opening cooling centers for those without air conditioning. Construction and other outdoor workers are being closely monitored. Meanwhile, jail staff are taking off protective gear because it's too hot to work. Mayor Lee Harris refuses to address the life safety crisis in the jail, a crisis of his own making. He has repeatedly stated that he has other concerns besides the jail. Mr. Mayor, what concerns are more important than the residents of our jail who have nowhere to go when it is swelteringly hot, when diesel fuel is rushing down the halls, and our fire alarm system isn't working? Are those concerns more important than the Shelby County employees and vendors who are suffering? As the chief jailer, my top priority remains the well-being of everyone in our care, as well as all those who work in the jail. Again, the sheriff's office is simply a tenant in the building. Mayor Lee Harris is the landlord, and I repeat that, he is the landlord. What kind of landlord doesn't care about the safety and well-being of his tenants? We will continue to keep you updated as repairs progress. With that, we will now take your questions, and thank you.
We know the AC issue has been a problem for a while now. What would you say has been before June 6th?
That has been a continuous problem. We've even had HVAC issues during the winter months, but it has intensified during the summer months.
Commissioner Billingsley, I was paying attention to your face there. A lot of disappointment I see. So do you mind just, on everything that's happening, the call to the mayor, do you mind just giving your thought and take on the entire situation?
I've never been more disappointed. I've been an elected public servant for 13 years. I was a Germantown alderman, a former reserve police officer, Shelby County Commissioner for 9 years. The reason I'm going back into public service is because I am woefully concerned about 201 Poplar, the people that work there, as well as the inmates. If we were talking about the Humane Society today with no air and standing water and black mold, the people around this city would be wrapped around the Humane Society. But because today we have 2,800 black inmates and we have jailers that spend their hard time there, as employees are spending a hard time in the jail, nobody seems to care. As Mr. Fields shared with us, this is the responsibility of the Shelby County Commissioners and the Shelby County Mayor. This is not the responsibility of the sheriff. The sheriff is there to operate the jail, to provide leadership with these deputies, but the landlord is Mayor Harris and the Shelby County Commission. It should concern everybody in this community with the loss of life we've had at the jail. Now we're seeing our employees having to go home sick. I'm really concerned about the long-term consequences of these people behind me having to work in the jail when there is standing water, there is no air conditioning. I toured the jail back around Easter time when it wasn't nearly as hot, and when I walked out of there, I felt like I was dehydrated. So how these people work in the conditions, I don't know. I think it has risen to a point of federal intervention. We need to see some national concern for 201 Poplar. The people that work there and the people as public servants, we're supposed to take care of inmates as well. Now, if you don't care about inmates and you just say, hey, they deserve what they get, fine. But we have people who've spent their lives in law enforcement that have to work in the jail. And we're failing all of these people. So that's why I'm here to lend another voice. I am really, really concerned. And I try to sort of stand back when I need to. I will also share with you, I'm a very big advocate for people with mental health issues. And the people that are very, very ill today are also at 201 Poplar, and they're not getting the care that they deserve. It's not about the men and women. It is about the facility.
There are other problems inside of 201, the jail there. Just talking with leadership from SCSO just last week, the courthouse flooded, the basement. And I was alerted of several other issues that need to be addressed in the jail. Could you possibly speak to those?
That's kind of a vague question, so if you could be more specific, then I could answer.
One thing about it for sure, we saw that diesel fuel leak.
Yes.
So that's one. The AC is two. What other issues?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest issue that we have right now is the HVAC. The doors have been repaired and mostly have been changed out. So security is 100% better. Of course, the flood last week, though it did not impact the jail water, it did impact the jail population because we had court down for 2 days, which increased our population because we had inmates or residents not being able to go to court and be released back into the community because the water was down at 201 Poplar. Yes.
Chief Davis with ABC 24. How soon are you all looking for some changes to happen? And if it's not within that time frame, what are your next steps?
Change needs to take place immediately. I mean, we will continue to try and correct what we can correct. As I stated in my statement, we have portable air conditioners. We have at least 4 portable air conditioners in our intake area. We have blower fans. We provided fans or blowers to the Judicial Commissioner's office, to the 24-hour clerk's office, to our R&I division. I mean, it is hot. That is the biggest thing that we need. We need some relief. We have 2 temporary chillers on our parking lot, but those chillers are constantly being worked on. They're not a long-term solution. We need the long-term solution.
I have a question. For the inmates who may be elderly or they may have issues, for those who just cannot withstand the heat, where are they being placed? Are they still there or are they being moved somewhere else?
No, we identify those persons that are at risk and we house them and we get them in the area where it's more of a controlled temperature environment. But at the point that we're at right now, in my opinion, everybody's at risk. In the time that you're in an area and it's 80 to 85 degrees.
For the staff, I know that you're saying you
All right, so as we've been bringing you over the last 10 minutes or so, this is a press conference involving the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, law enforcement regarding the conditions of 201 Poplar. They made no bones about the conditions regarding the heat, the danger it poses to employees of the county, particularly jail workers, as well as the inmates who were there. As I said, you know, we had a pretty stacked show and a lot of stuff put on our plate during the course of the Action News 5 digital desk. We do have a special guest joining us. She is on, waiting to talk more about the DeSoto County Dream Center. They had a ribbon cutting for their new facility in Olive Branch. We're going to go to break real quick and then come back with the executive director of the DeSoto County Dream Center right here on the Action News 5 digital desk. Stay with us, guys. We'll be right back. All right. Jenna, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. So we're not on, right? So a funny
we're
little
in
note,
break.
that's my brother that was the sheriff's deputy standing beside the one talking.
You are kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, I opened it up and I went, well, there's my brother.
Well, gosh dog it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in break. I'm patching through your interview real quick, making sure we're on the same channel. We are. Some of this stuff is me trying to walk and chew gum at the same time, but very excited to talk about this. I'm actually a member of Get Well Church in Hernando, so we do a lot of your so we do a lot of your block parties in the Hill Street community.
Yes,
so I'm familiar with
Thank
the
y'all
work,
so
and
much.
when
We appreciate
we were
you.
able to get on. Folks, I mean, you got me on screen right now talking to my guests, so we're going to get right into it. I've got with me Jenna Kern. She's the executive director for the DeSoto County Dream Center. I've got some video here of last week's ribbon cutting, but I wanted to have you on, talk more about it. I think it's such important work that the DeSoto County Dream Center does. So, Jenna, first of all, good morning. Let's let the freshest of the stuff be what we talk about first and foremost, the opening of this Olive Branch facility. That's got to be an exciting accomplishment for the DeSoto County Dream Center and your work to grow in the work that you're able to do there in DeSoto County. First and foremost, like, how are we feeling? You know, we're a week in, we getting it worn in, breaking in the new building. What are the feelings like at the DeSoto County Dream Center? Good morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. And yes, we are so excited. We had our business first look last Wednesday, and we're able to bring in a lot of our business and community leaders and show them just what we're doing out there. So what we're doing is we're continuing the same stuff that we were already doing in Horn Lake, just spreading it throughout the county.
And for those who don't know, let's get into the DeSoto County Dream Center. You know, you're in Horn Lake for a long time. You were able to add this new location. While you're talking, we'll throw up video of last week's ribbon cutting and just talk about, how you've been able to grow. Obviously, the need was there to where we thought this second location was warranted. So let's go into the work that DeSoto County Dream Center does.
Absolutely. So we started back in 2014 with an elementary education program. And what we did is we talked to teachers and found out, hey, how can we support you best? And how can we really help students to get to the next level? So we work with students in 3rd through 5th graders and help them with reading and math. And then we also have just been working, we do food insecurity and help families that are suffering through that crisis. We help with clothing, and we also have Trinity Health Center, which is amazing healthcare facility for people that work but don't have health insurance. So they can come right into our location in Horn Lake and get amazing health care. So we're just really trying to help families in all the different ways to help them get onto that next step and get out of crisis.
Fantastic. I mean, let's talk about the need there. I mean, you know, for work like this, you know, a second building is not a nice to have; it's a need to have. And so you weigh your options, you look at your capacity, and you realize this is a feasible thing to do. So, what will this new facility allow you to do? Whether it's something new or something to build upon, what does this new building mean for the work being done?
Absolutely. So we were already in Olive Branch doing so many wonderful things. We have an Adopt a Block program where we go into the community and bring food and bring fun games for the kids and form relationships. We're in schools in Olive Branch and all over the county where we provide weekend backpacks for kids who get most of their meals from school. We have dream closets in schools where students that maybe are coming to school in the same clothing every day or it doesn't fit, where they can go right into their school and get some new clothing. So what we're expanding out there is, one, our education program, so that people can come and don't have to drive across the county, and especially our emergency needs closet. And that's where families can come in every week and get food. We can help them get connected to other resources, because what we found is when you're in crisis, even trying to get across the county can be really hard sometimes.
Sure. And so, you know, a lot of this is for folks in crisis, the services, but as we talked off camera, and I'll make a little disclosure, my church in DeSoto County partners with DeSoto County Dream Center in some way, and so there are ways for the community to get involved with the DeSoto County Dream Center and the work that they're doing. For those who might see this, they're not in crisis, but they might have the means or the clothing or the time to donate and get involved with the DeSoto County Dream Center. How can folks get involved with the work that you do?
Absolutely. And we're so grateful to all the churches that are involved with us, that they're helping us be the hands and feet of Jesus to really spread this mission. But you can go to our website, which is DeSotoDreamCenter.org, find out about different ways that you can get involved. What I found is everyone in their different seasons in life have something to give. Maybe they can give gifts of money, or maybe they can give gifts of time or of their skills. And all the different ways that you can serve or be a part of, or maybe you just want to pray for our ministry and what we're doing, and all that information's there.
Perfect. Final question, Jenna. Just, you know, having been a part of the DeSoto County Dream Center as long as you have, you know, its history, 12 years now, adding this new location, how does this make you feel about the future for the DeSoto County Dream Center? Like you said, you're already in some of these communities, but now you've got this new brick and mortar structure. What does that tell you about future years for the work being done there?
We're so excited and so humbled to be able to be a part of making a big difference in people's lives. This new building is just expanding this ministry that we're already doing, and we, like I said, we're just humbled and proud that we can help others in crisis. And I think it's just going to continue. There's always going to be people in need, and people that we can help and just walk alongside and show them, hey, you're worth more, and you can get past this crisis, and we're here with you.
Fantastic message. Jenna Kern with the DeSoto County Dream Center, Executive Director there, talking about the new Olive Branch facility and the work being done there. Thank you so much for coming on and telling us more about the work that you do.
Thank you so much.
And for those listening who might be interested in that, you can go back to our website, actionnews5.com, click on the digital desk link on the banner there, click on this interview. You'll find out all the information needed on how to get involved if this is something that speaks to you with the DeSoto County Dream Center. More Action News 5 digital desk after the break, guys. Stay with us. Fantastic. Thank you, Jenna. That was great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this, and sorry my computer was going slow and I was a few minutes late, but I'll jump off, and I appreciate you.
No, I guess fortunately for both of us, we've had a lot of news, so I threw up a press conference that's active right now, so I wasn't stretched for time. I had plenty of stuff to fill it, but wanted to make time for you. This was great. Really appreciate your time and the work that you do. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye. right, guys, welcome back. Boy, if we had a full day today. 3 different interviews about some great events, some great work being done, and not to mention 3 different instances of press conferences and live scenes. We'll take you to the latest one. You know, we've told you about the active scene in the 6500 block of Poplar. We just patched out of the press conference at the Shelby County Jail regarding conditions at 201 Poplar. Sheriff's Department not happy with the way that they feel their jailers and their inmates, for that matter, have been treated. Now we've got the latest on our list here, with that being the release of the audit for Memphis Shelby County Schools. This is our team in Nashville right now. You can see House Speaker Cameron Sexton, that's the Tennessee Comptroller, and Representative Mark White over his shoulder. Representative White on the far left there, his right, my left. They're going to be releasing the full audit of Memphis Shelby County Schools. You might remember back in April, they released 25% of the audit. They unveiled what they said to be millions of dollars in waste and abuse. Now the full audit is in its entirety, for what we understand, being released. We're going to go ahead and patch this in now. We'll listen to it as much as we can as we get into Action News 5 at midday. Here is this press conference and what looks like House Speaker Cameron Sexton speaking on more.
The legislation that we passed is statewide. It has the capability of going into any school district that meets the requirements, performing these tasks, and having the state come in and intervene and bringing in local intervention. That's what the Board of Managers there are to do. You need a new Board of Managers to come in to fix this mess. Not only do you need to fix the incredible lacking results of educating the children in Shelby County, but now you're going to have to come in and clean up the amount of waste, fraud, and abuse, and the lack of internal controls, the lack of procedures, the favoritism, the cronyism. You cannot sit here and logically and rationally tell anybody in the state of Tennessee that you have confidence in those currently in charge of doing that. But you're going to hear that from probably members on the other side of the aisle, because that's the only thing they have. There's no explanation for this. They're going to try to defend it the best they can to protect what they have. But unfortunately, what they have is a subpar education system that has run amok with as much fraud, waste, and abuse. And so I stand here today looking forward to moving and making Shelby County and Memphis education great, making their economy great. It starts with this. This is a transformation of that. This will help future generations. And I call on the mayor, and I call on the school board, and I call on the school system to withdraw their lawsuit. They need to withdraw their lawsuit, because otherwise all they're doing is delaying the change that is needed in that school system. And if they're unwilling to withdraw it, I'm asking the parents and the residents of Shelby County and Memphis to go and ask them to withdraw it. Time is of the essence to turn this around. How much more damage are we going to allow them to have and continue in this regard? So that's what I ask them to do today. I appreciate the report. I appreciate everything coming to light. And hopefully there'll be a new day coming to Memphis and Shelby County in the very near future. And with that, I'll be happy to turn it over to Chairman Mark White.
Thank you, Speaker Sexton. My name is Mark White. I represent District 83, which is Memphis and parts of Shelby County. And my comments are going to center around my role as education chairman for the past 12 years, and the responsibility that we have as a state to all 147 of our school districts. What value do we as a state, as a people, place on a child's education? We as a state require parents to enroll their children in school as early as 5 years of age for the next 12 to 13 years. K through 12, we call it 5 years to 18 years. We ask our districts to train a student in the basics of reading, writing, and math. And why? To give them the skills so that at 18 they can function in a world and a society that demands the knowledge, that demands competent skills. As chair of the House Education Committee for the past 12 years, I have seen districts that excel in this and seen those who fail. The Memphis Shelby County School District has failed the children of my community. Only 1 out of every 4 graduate proficient in the skills of reading and less than that in the skills of math. Memphis Shelby County Schools is a district, as has been mentioned, of 100,000 students, or 10% of the students attending school in Tennessee, 1 million students total. Of the $7.5 billion that the taxpayers of Tennessee put to our schools to invest in K-12 education, approximately $1 billion is sent to this one district. The other 146 districts split the remaining $6.5 billion. And today we see at a minimum of over $100 million misused and wasted in just 3 years, 2022, 23, and 24. If we wanted to add 25 and 26, or as Speaker Sexton said, go back and forth, we were in some major money. But when we started this journey 2 years ago to reach the conclusion we present today, it was not the money that I was focused on. It was the continued decline in learning of our students. Prosperity for a city and for a state and for a person depends on their strong education. Education is also a requirement for a functioning society. If we continue to allow our current system to deprive our youth a great education, they will be deprived of lifelong success. Well, this failure has got to stop today. The Tennessee General Assembly passed legislation, as was mentioned, this past April, with the full constitutional authority and responsibility, and we established a 9-member oversight board for a 4-year period to reverse decades of failure of our Memphis school system. Evidence points today that dollars meant for our students have been stolen. Every citizen, every parent should be outraged until change happens. And I am determined to do my best to make any changes necessary to ensure our students have every opportunity in the Memphis school system to receive a quality education. And I want to thank, at this point in time, Governor Lee, Speaker Sexton, Lieutenant Governor McNally, Comptroller Mumpower, Senator Brent Taylor, who carried the bill in the Senate, CLA team who has brought us this audit, and the majority of the members in the House and the Senate for the past 2 years for their support in making this change happen. Today, things need to change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as I begin to wrap it up, I do have to say a special thanks as well to Speaker Sexton, Chairman White, Senator Taylor, members of the Tennessee House and Senate, Governor Lee, who entrusted the Comptroller's Office to oversee and contract for this forensic audit. I do have to thank Clifton Larson Allen, CLA, national law or accounting firm who we worked with multiple times, and some of who are here with me today on stage and in the audience. We have enjoyed working with them and appreciate their careful work. Now, before we close, let me make an important point. What we've delivered to you today is the final part of this forensic audit. It is not a criminal indictment. That's not what an audit is. An audit does not determine criminal liability. This will be a job for prosecutors. The purpose of this report was to independently examine the facts, to follow the evidence, to identify the weaknesses, and to recommend improvements. And it has done exactly that. Where in this report the auditors have identified matters for appropriate additional review by law enforcement or other authorities, I assure you we will be taking this to the local district attorney and perhaps more importantly to the United States Attorney for further review and the appropriate action. Now, I have said before, and I will say again, the findings in this report absolutely represent some of the worst organizational management we have ever seen anywhere in government. The failures, as I said, the failures are both unacceptable and indefensible. But the good news is they are correctable. The teachers, the students, the parents, the taxpayers of Shelby County.
All right, folks, as you've been listening to, you heard House Speaker Cameron Sexton State Representative Mark White, obviously, who represents Shelby County, and of course, the Tennessee State Comptroller there, talking about the
Accountability
forensic audit that's been done on Memphis Shelby County schools. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will have more on this audit's release, and at the very least, you'll have more from Arimani Williams, who is there behind the camera taking notes actively, as I understand it, and we'll have the full report on Action News 5 later this evening. We'll be right back after break.
There is more than $119 million worth of fraud, waste, abuse, or question costs identified in the report.
Why did it take so long, if you guys think it's been going on for years, why did it take so long to kind of do it?
Well, I will say it has been suspected for a long time, but thankfully we have great leaders like Speaker Sexton and Chairman White who brought this to the forefront in the legislature in the last couple of years, and here we are. Yes.
Hey, I'm Ezekiel with ABC 24. Has anybody been criminally charged? Because this is a lot of potential fraud you guys are mentioning. You guys keep using this word. Has anybody been criminally charged? And if not, what should people of Shelby County and Tennessee expect from this?
Well, again, the audit report is just released today. We have literally, this event was for the purpose of releasing this report. So it is only now.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We're going to take you back into this live press conference of the release of the financial audit of the Memphis Shelby County schools. Obviously, here is the Tennessee State Comptroller talking more about what was in the audit. We're going to go ahead and patch in so that you can listen.
We have to work again with the local district attorney and perhaps more importantly, the United States attorney, who I can assure you is anxiously awaiting a copy of this report.
Mark Testino, the Daily Union. This question is for the Frontwriter Speaker Sexton. You talked about how these are systemic failures that need the assistance of the takeover intervention that you produced. The chairman of that board, Billy Orville, was in the final months of his elected term in 2022 when the district board approved the contract that makes up most of the millions of dollars in suspected abuse found in this report. What gives you the confidence that someone who was on the board during that time will be able to set the district straight in the future 4 years of this proposed takeover?
Yeah, look, what he had said in that contract is there was the recommendation to do it multiple, and there was some recommendation to do it single. Mr. Orr will be but one vote. I think you would have to dig into who was behind the scenes pushing the school board to make that decision, first of all. Second of all, I think what this audit showed is the failures that were there. I think Mr. Orville, I know Billy, he's a fine individual, outstanding, follows the law. And so I think having him come back in with a little bit of institutional knowledge and having a better clarity of what it looks like, along with others who don't, have not served in that capacity, and also having one individual from outside Shelby County that I know all y'all looked at, so why do we need that? Without any preconceived notions will help us move that in that direction. Look, I think that, I would say that you could also have lower administration people in the department or in the school system who didn't know all this was going on. They could have been told to do X, Y, Z. I think that's more digging on your all's part. Go back and look at the superintendents and the director of schools at that time. Start asking them the tough questions. Did you know this was going on? How did you not know this was going on? Ask the people who are doing their accounting, who's doing their bookkeeping. Did you know about this? What I will say is in here, there was a lot of bad things in here. I will tell you the one good thing that Shelby County schools tried to do was to hide the receipts and the files from the auditors. They did a very good job of that because it took us 6 months or so to figure that out, where those were. And they had them in a side room and all this and not organized and said they couldn't have it. And they tried to stop the audit for a long time. That's what slowed us down. And so there were people there who were trying to stop this from happening, to your question, or whoever is, they did not want this audit done. They didn't want this to be uncovered. Because hopefully, I don't have any confidence in General Mulroy. He won't prosecute violent criminals. He won't prosecute illegals. I'm sure he's not going to prosecute white-collar crime if he's not doing the others. But I have great confidence in General Donovan, and I'm hopeful that he will take a look at this and see what needs to be done and prosecute who needs that to be done. Because at the end, you have to remember, these are federal dollars as well. It's not just state dollars, so that is a federal crime. And so I look forward to seeing what General Donovan says in the near future.
Thank you. As a follow-up question, the legislation that was passed for the takeover has a requirement of the new oversight board to create a review and process timeline for the elected board to produce contracts and evidence of its spending for a 15 business day approval. Before the board was halted, it had yet to create that, and the elected board had recently passed a 4-year contract for transportation that was $200 million over 4 years, an increase from previous years. Do you have an expectation that the appointees should have had that process in place before that final school board meeting or elected school board meeting in mid-June?
Well, I mean, you can't really do anything until, one, you're appointed, and two, the law's effective, because until then you really can't have the authority. What I will say is they had their meeting. They were starting in the process of moving in that direction. I do know that the attorney that they were using in the school system refused to cooperate with them, did not want to work with the new board of managers, right? Was told not to. And so then we had to intervene and have the Attorney General's office help them on legal matters. So this notion of coming in with the Board of Managers and being able to turn things around when the locals are unwilling to help you makes it extremely difficult. They've had one meeting. Hopefully the judge will make a decision here on this, and as I said, hopefully they'll withdraw their lawsuit and allow this to go forward and start having the process. But one meeting, you can't functionally do that in one meeting. I think they were on the process of doing that, but they did have a hiccup because the local attorney there, whoever was on the school board, was not helping them answer their questions and how to move forward, unfortunately.
One more.
Over here.
Hi, Kayla Solomon, Fox 13. Comptroller Mumpower, my question's for you. I know you mentioned that this is in no way any type of criminal indictment, but your office is in charge of also taking a look at the money and the spending that happens throughout the state. What action can your office take moving forward to oversee the money as far as the Shelby County School District goes?
Well, we're delighted to have this roadmap as well. This forensic audit is a much deeper review than is able to be done on an annual basis. So we're glad to have this roadmap to help us know where to look in the future as well. And we will be working with the new oversight board. We will be following this roadmap. We will be working with auditors to look at some of this stuff on a more regular basis that we haven't been able to see before. So I think this is, again, a starting point.
One last question.